I have an offhand kitty this morning. I disturbed her so I could turn the camera on. She's really quite sweet. Aren't you, Astra? Aren't you? Okay, let's dive in. Tuesday. I kindle my soul from the light of summer's glory. Oh wait, I was going to read the evening ones, wasn't I? Okay. Candle burning, light unbending, soul turning, heart befriending, spirit's beacon never ending. I give thanks for the alchemy of change by which all life's experiences transmute my fixed viewpoints into the new perceptions of possibility. With the help of my soul's teacher, I review this day in the changes that it has brought. May all the changes bring my soul into truer alignment with the divine spirit. Maker, keeper, and lover of all life, I turn to you. I am marvelously made, protectingly kept, gloriously loved by you throughout this day. I pass from speech into silence that you may speak in the wonder of my heart. From the depths of the vessel of recreation, I am forged anew, smith of souls. Give me light to consider the mystery of this lunar phase. In the busy tracks of the world, I remember all whose energy is burned out or extinguished by overwork. May they receive the gifts of rest and recreation so that they may once more be able to respect the powers of limitations of their being. I give thanks for the 9 interweaving threads of life that have surrounded me. May my whole being be infused with strength and sureness of the growing year. May the political prisoners of those imprisoned because of their courageous championing of the innocent and disempowered be strengthened and heartened by the presence of the holy ones. Maiden of sky flowers, faithful companion of the night, under the running laughter of the clouds, under the shining mirror of the moon, I lie down in peace with you. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love that. Oh, mornings are hard. Ugh. I am not the person who rolls out of bed first thing in the morning, cheerful. I'm just not. It takes me a while to get going. Oy. I was actually up at 4:30 this morning and I was wide awake. And I thought, I'm going back to bed. And I did. I rolled over and went, I am going back to sleep. Our neighbors were mowing their lawn at 9 o'clock last night when we were trying to go to bed. Yeah. Fearless. Fearless is the card. Now is your time to leap. Do not hesitate. Do not fear. You don't need to know how it is all going to work out in order for everything to work out perfectly. It is not a time for small tentative steps. This is a time for a big gesture. Take a chance. Be bold. So take a running leap with your eye only on where you're going. Your body will trust you and follow. I will protect and guide you. Let us leap together fearlessly into the unfolding future of your destiny. It will be a wild ride. I thought that card was cool. And by the way, these are yaks, I believe. I think they're a yak. I haven't had a lot of time to research. But she doesn't talk about it in her book at all. I can't find it. I will find it eventually. Right, Astra? Right? Yes. We're going to find it. Oh, you're just adorable. Yes, you are. There is a time to have patience and to wait to be shown. There is a time to rest for gathering energy, to know that when the time is right, the fuel required for action will be ready. And then there is a time for action itself. When there is no need for tentativeness or analysis, the time will come to leap boldly and say yes, to act without hesitation. It requires courage, self-belief, and willingness to take a risk. That time is for you now. If you've been asking if you are on the right path, if you should take a step forward, if you need to take action, the oracle says, yes, you're in harmony with the universe. This action will bring the right reward at the right time. If you have been through a period of time when you have had to be patient, recovering from an illness, grieving a loss of some kind, going through the dark and difficult challenge, then this oracle indicates that there will be a sudden breakthrough soon. You will suddenly spring forward if you've been feeling held back. Where you have felt as though you had no energy, you will find that suddenly your energy rises. Where perhaps once you felt you could not, suddenly you will realize you can, and so you will. Don't be scared to live with freedom and boldness. This is not a time to hold yourself back or play it small. If you're asking a question about a certain choice in your life, the oracle says, yes, go for it. Don't overthink things, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid of leaping forward into your life with gusto. If you believe you aren't brave enough or make certain choices in your life, think again. If you have a bolder, braver heart than you realize, your spirit is fearless. A sudden positive change is going to enter your world. This could be a new friendship, relationship, opportunity, or even energy within your own soul rising up and bringing a sense of greater personal power. Accept what heads your way. It can change your life. So there's a section here called Healing Process. You can use a candle for this healing process. If you choose to use a candle, light it and gaze as you relax for several moments. And the prayer is, Fearless Kuan Yin, Mother of Courage, who loves me unconditionally, please help me realize that I already have so much courage in my heart. May I leap, even though I might be afraid sometimes. I focus completely on the loving light calling me forward into a more beautiful life than I have ever known. May I act with complete trust in myself and in you. Through divine mercy, through my own free will, so mote it be. Gaze in your candle and say the following statement. There is a light in my heart that can never be extinguished. This is the light of my spirit, fearless and free. Imagine, visualize, and feel or pretend that the light of the candle is now shining in your heart. You no longer need the candlelight, you have your inner light. Blow out the candle, then place your hands in prayer and bow your head for a moment. To finish your healing process, close your eyes and imagine, visualize, feel, or pretend that the light is in your heart so radiant that it shines out through the front and the back of your chest. This feels very good. You have completed your healing process. And in the book, there's a drawing of the card. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I just love this book. I've been wanting to get this deck for a while. So, fearless. So I think this is the key piece. If you've been through a period of time where you've had to be patient, recovering, grieving, going through a difficult, dark challenge, this is the oracle that indicates that there will be a breakthrough. You will suddenly spring forward if you've been feeling held back. When you have felt, though, that you have no energy, you will suddenly find your energy rising. I want to come at this a little differently. So, for years, I've had people ask me, how do you get so much done? Or, you need to take time to rest. Make sure that you rest yourself. And they're 100% correct. Because now, at this time in my life, I am forced to rest more. Because I haven't rested as I should have along the way. And I do get a lot done. I get a lot done in a time that other people don't seem to get a lot done. Now, part of that is I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube and Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. I have all three, of course I do. Oh, and Disney, which I haven't watched in months. But I don't watch them every day. Every day I don't take media in. I listen to NPR on the radio in my car, or I don't listen to anything at all. I spend a great deal of time processing my world. So I'm going to back up to go forward. I know I say that all the time, but it's like my mantra, I guess. for years and years and years, I have had the knowing that my sensitivity in my world is very unique. And for a long time, I just thought I was broken. I was just convinced I was broken. And my internal dialogue was, you're broken. There's something wrong with you. Grandma would tell me I'm not broken. My dad would tell me I'm not broken. I would have friends tell me I'm not broken. So I quit saying that I was broken because everybody would say, no, you're not broken. And inside I would go, but I know I'm broken. I know that I'm broken. How can you say differently? I'm the one living in my skin suit. I know that I'm broken. And that dialogue over time manifested itself. It really did. But where I'm going with this is that my sensitivity to my universe, my sensitivity to electricity, my sensitivity to touch, my sensitivity to sounds and smells and foods have always been hyper felt, if that's a word or combo that makes sense. And I know that my gifts, all of the psychic gifts, the paranormal gifts, whatever you want to call them, the metaphysical vocabulary that we walk around with, that could be maybe either an augmentation of my sensitivity, or it's what gives me my sensitivity, or it's something separate. It took me a long time to figure it out. But in the middle of that perception of my world, my hypersensitivity, which as a 47-year-old woman a couple of years ago, I discovered, or was I 46 or 45? Oh goodness, math is bad. Anyway, a couple of years ago, I discovered that I actually have a clinical diagnosis. I have two. I have autism. I have ADHD. I have a physiological condition that makes my brain work differently. And I have psychic gifts. Okay, so now we've got a diagnosis, four and a half decades in, we'll say, and I've known about the gifts my whole life, so that's done. And how does this pertain to the card Fearless? How does it pertain to this? Okay, so to manage my sensitivity and to manage my world, I create, I make, I transmute the energy of all the things around me into something to make my world calm, to make my world breathable, to make my processing of the world make sense. So if I'm carrying if I go someplace, I go to a party. So everybody else goes to a party, an empath would go to a party and they're drained. They don't want to deal with people for days afterwards. My energy sensitivity, I go to a party and I get energized, or I go to a movie and I get energized, or if I go out with friends, I get energized. I also crash, but I get energized, if that makes any sense. I have this huge influx of energy. And no, I'm not talking about energy vampirism. That's not what I'm talking about. You take 5 people in a room, they create a type of gestalt of energy. It just, 5 people, 5 fields come together, and there's a pulsing of energy in the room. And that should, with intention, if that is a sacred space or somebody has known how to grid their house, that energy goes into the house or it goes into the earth. It just does. But if you don't have that, any energy sensitive that's in the room, me, I absorb a little bit of it. It's just like breathing air. I breathe in, I'm going to breathe in some of that energy. And so what do I do with that? I go to a party, I come home, I crash. So this would be the sequence of events. I'll give a sequence of events that's like 2009, 2008. I go to work all day, so I've been soaking up the gestalted energy of all the people I work with. If I'm if I'm having a really good day, I get to work in isolation, so I'm not absorbing people's stuff. So then I feel good when I get home. I'm not overstimulated. I have dinner. I maybe craft, do a little bit of thing. It's a Friday. I want to go out. So I eat a good dinner. I make sure that I have good food in my belly, good proteins, good fats, not so many carbs, and no sugar. I go out to go dancing. So my body is drinking alcohol, because that's when I was drinking alcohol, and I'd have, 7 to 10 drinks because that's what I drank at that time. That's a lot of sugar, but I'm dancing all night long, drinking lots of water between my alcoholic beverages. I go home, I'm energized, I feel good, I sleep. I get up the next morning and it's a Saturday morning and I have all this energy. What do? I either go for a hike. I obviously get up, I eat a good breakfast. Maybe I'll have some coffee. That's when I was drinking coffee. I would go for a hike, or I would take a shower and craft. I would paint, I would draw, I would do all these things. I would make these beautiful SCA things, or I would read, and then I'd come home in the afternoon. If I'd gone for a walk, or I'd gone for a hike, or if I'd been crafting, I would read a book for 5 or 6 hours. But I would write. Every time I would read a chapter, I would put it down and then I would write. I have always kept like spiral notebooks next to my chairs, my bed, everywhere. I have journals everywhere because I'm always writing. I am working through and working out onto paper things that have happened, how I felt. And I didn't watch TV. I didn't sit in front of a TV to relax. I wrote, or I walked, or I crafted. That energy from the night before sounds like a typical thing a younger person would do. Wonderful. But that was very energizing for me. So one night going out would create energy for 2 or 3 days. When I was going out and dancing and going out and being with people Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and then sometimes Sunday, I would go for a long hike by myself or with my boyfriend at the time, or I would do things that would work off all that energy. Monday and Tuesday at the beginning of the week, I always had tons of energy in my job. It was Wednesday and Thursday and Friday that I would sometimes tank. Depending on the job, depending on the work expectation, depending on oversensory overload, also masking. Masking's a big deal. So fearlessness for change, why does that come into the picture? Well, because when it came time to make a change and to leap, that change catapulted over a period of time into a space where I had to go into, I call it sticking my head in the sand. I just kind of pulled away from everything in the metaphysical community, and I did my own thing with he wasn't my husband at the time, he was my boyfriend, but my boyfriend at the time, we spent a lot of time together doing our things. And that changed not how I transmute energy. I still create art, I still write, I still do all the things, but I'm not going out to find a lot of energy anymore. I'm finding energy in other things that I do. And I had a conversation with someone a while ago and they were like, "You've done what? You've done what? You've done what?" Because I've done so many things in my life. I spent the first 29 years of my life okay, 32 years of my life. I'll go there. I spent the first 32 years of my life experiencing life. I have lived in Europe. I have ridden in a hot air balloon. I've been on a train. I've been in a sailboat in the ocean. I've been way high in the sky, in a very, very high in the sky airplane. I've done helicopter. I've ridden in a helicopter. I've only tried to fly a helicopter once, and that was when I was in my late 20s. Long story. I've done dressage. I've done barrel racing once. Didn't work very well for me. I've done a lot of things. I've done archery. I've done thrown weapons. I've done hand-to-hand combat. I've done so much. I'm not good at any of it. But I've done it. I've tried it. You know, my dad used to say when I was little, you can't know you don't like it until you try it. And he's 100% right. I've done a lot of things in my life that I look back and go, I'm not going to do that again. But I've done it. I'm not even halfway through my life. I've always said that most people hit 50 and they think they're halfway over. I'm not quite 50, and I know I'm not even halfway over. I've got so much life to live. Fearlessness, for me, is the joy of the journey. That's where I'm going with this. My sensitivity to my world makes the need for my world to have certain things in it. I have a studio. When we moved into this apartment, this condo, my husband and I, his youngest boy was still living with us, and his oldest boy had moved out. And so when we got this place, it's a 3-bedroom. And I told my husband, I said, one of those rooms is my studio. I have to have a studio. I have to have a place to create. And he went, okay. And then his oldest son came back for a little while, and he lived in the same room with his brother because they have the second largest suite in the house. It's got its own bathroom. It's like a second master bedroom in the house. And it shares a bathroom with my studio, but my studio is a tiny little room. And we'd been here not quite a year, and my friend and his 3 boys needed a safe place to land. So I gave up my studio for a year and put my studio in the garage. And it worked. I still had a studio. But as soon as he went, my studio went back upstairs. I have to have certain things to create, to offset, to be productive, to use the energy that comes at me throughout the day. Has anybody noticed that daily devotionals, as I do them, I get more and more energized? Because the act of connecting in with spirit and finding my place of peace gives me energy, because I am connected in to Mother Earth and the elementals and the world around me. I'm connected to it. I accept the connection. Fearlessness is finding your place of peace, finding the energy in your place of peace and your connection to the world. I get so much done. People commented all the time, you get so much done. I get so much done because I have learned to focus. Ironically, I have ADHD. I'm a space cadet. I'm a complete space cadet, and I know that. I take medication for my ADHD now. It's great. I love it. My hyperfocus, my flow, mixed with my autism, oh my goodness, I can stick to a thing for 8 hours and not even realize time has gone by. But if I have a list of things, say that this is a list, say if I have a list of things, actually this is better, if I have a list of things, that list of things has a flow to it. It has an energy to it. And I am not afraid to fail. I am welcoming the journey of the experience. Fear has no place in that. I probably wandered all over the place today's daily devotional to get there, but this is the thing. Nothing is fearless. Everything is filled with the opportunity to grow and find joy in the connection of the experience. And every day, I say it all the time, every day is a new day. Are you having a good day, Red? Every day is a new day. I used to get told all the time at work, they're like, that's one way of looking at it. And I'm like, because it's the most positive thing I know how to say. Even if I'm having an awful day, every day is a new day. Because I'm going to end this day and I'm going to sleep, I'm going to rest, and I'm going to give tomorrow the new opportunity to be whatever it's going to be in my life. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new journey. Finding my place of peace every single day gives me the tools to live that day with authentic attention, the opportunity and openness of growth, the connection opportunities of the people in front of me, or the vast opportunities of growth and learning and connecting all of the patterns in the universe, and the potential, the infinite potentials of tomorrow. And daily devotions give me the ability to sit in my joy and accept the beauty in the smallest iota of every day, in every moment and everything. Do you know that we're all perfect? Look at this beautiful creature. She's perfect just the way she is. Our animal companions teach us in every day and every moment to connect in with divine. And we all have divine within us. So I'm not fearless. Of course I have fears. Of course I have anxieties and worries. Are you gonna fall? Don't fall. But I don't let that get in the way of the opportunity of each and every day. Some days are easy, some days are hard. But you know what? We have each other. We can do this. And she is shedding. So every time I pet her, I get a whiff of cat hair. Woo! Spring shed, huh? Yes. Yes. I have a long day ahead of me. It's a busy day. I hope you all have a beautiful day. And, oh, I forgot my card again. Okay, so I believe what it says is, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Please make a comment. Comments help the algorithm. I would like to build the channel to the point where I'm looking at the possibility of doing live online readings through Facebook. I have another psychic friend, he does that, and he recommended it, but I need to build my subscribers. So I'd like to try that. What else? Like, subscribe, comment on the videos. It helps the algorithm. And share these with your friends. Share them on Facebook. The ones that you like. You don't have to share them all, but the ones you like, the ones that resonate with you. And I will see you tomorrow in prayer. Blessed be, my friends. And Astra says good morning too. Bye-bye.